question's for Dr. Fauci. I'm a strong believer in First Amendment protections, and we've obviously seen, and coming from the business world as well, the tech industry carries so much clout. They are monopolies as ones are defined. I mean, when you have markets that you control over 70, 80%, that is so much not only economic power, but it is a lot of other power that goes along with it. When you have any case where the federal government gets in cahoots in any way with big companies like that, that is almost unheard of, and generally the government would try to do something about that. In February, Facebook included new criteria for removing misinformation, and part of it was about the origination of the COVID virus, which now has gone from what they were declaring as misinformation to maybe the way we think it actually occurred. And Facebook has said that they've made consultations with leading health organizations. Was your organization, NIAID, one of the leading health organizations Facebook consulted with when deciding what speech to filter through?
To my knowledge, Senator, that is not the case. When you say consulting with my agency regarding what speech to filter through, I don't ever recall or have ever heard of any discussion about filtering speech.
Did they consult with you on any topics, not necessarily whether you'd filter through it or not? Have you been in contact with them to give them your personal opinion on this or that?
I don't know what you mean by this or that. There was one communication or two, perhaps, with Mark Zuckerberg in which he emailed me and wanted to know if there's anything that he could do. I believe it was promoting vaccination or making sure people do the right thing, wear masks, but it was mostly propagating a public health message. It had nothing to do with the origins of the virus at all.
And then do you, on a very frequent basis, consult with him either via email or do you have his cell phone number, for instance?
I have exchanged a few emails. You probably know that because you're asking the question. About 10,000 pages of my email have been FOIA'd. And in fact, there is an email exchange or two between myself and Mr. Zuckerberg. I don't recall. I can look it up right now and see if I have a cell phone number. I'm not sure I do.
Well, you can get back to me on that.
Okay.
I'm guessing you might.
Right.
My point is, an entity like that, and we've got 190 million users here in the U.S., and they are getting into the fray on so many things, and they are the classic example of where there's too much concentration within one entity. And in years past, we've done something about that, not just let it kind of run its course, and we've never had any of the big monopolies get involved with filtering or censoring speech to boot. Another question related to the White House has recently said that they are wanting to flag problematic posts. And working for the president, would you be one that would try to come up with whatever posts that are out there that need to be flagged as misinformation?
No, I have not at all been involved, even indirectly, in that.
Do you think there's a risk, even though you haven't been involved, to the White House wanting to flag stuff that they think is problematic and then have that same type of communication, with entities like Facebook? Just your opinion on that.
No, actually, this is beyond my area of expertise. I develop vaccines to save people's lives. I don't get involved in flagging things, Senator, so I'm sorry.
Let's then pivot to speaking of vaccines.
Yes.
When you enter grade school, there are many vaccines that are mandated and I think accepted over time. Would you, and I'd like Dr. Walensky to answer this as well, would you be for mandating ever a vaccine for COVID-19 or any of the variants as mandatory for getting into grade school?
I think first we need to see the data. I hope they're efficacious. First, we need to see the data, understand the risk benefits. So I think that's premature at this point.
What data would you need beyond what we've got to go to that next step of making that a mandate, along with some of the others that have been so for a long time?
We don't have clinical trial data in the grade school aged population yet.
So I think that means for you that you might considering further data.
I think we need to see with the clinical trial data, see the risk benefits, see the long-term data.
Dr. Fauci?
I think the same thing. You have to make decisions based on data. We don't have that data right now. When we do, then we could address the decision.
Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Baldwin.